Hello, guys. This is JJ from Willin and Dealing with JJ. Now, some of you might be wondering, when is it okay to ask a disabled person questions that you are just dying to know? And I don't care what the question is, okay? That's not what we're getting into. What we're getting into is when is it okay to ask those questions? For me personally, and this is just me, for me personally, I feel like you could ask those at any time. Some people may not like that, but I just figure rip the band aid off and just ask. And if you're wondering, could this question that I'm about to ask be offensive to this person? Try it out on yourself. Here's what I mean. If you ask yourself that same question, and do you think you would be offended if you were in the shoes of a excuse me, of a disabled person, and it would if you were in their shoes, it probably is, and you probably shouldn't ask. But there is a but. But also, at the same token, how are you going to know if you don't ask? Hmm? You're never going to. So here's what I would say: ask them if you can ask them a question. Test it out on yourself, and if you would be offended 9 times out of 10, maybe lower than that, the person you're going to ask is going to be offended as well. Now, for me, you could ask me anything. I don't give a shit. Okay? You could ask me why I'm brown. You could ask me how far is Timbuktu from my butthole. I don't care. Because I'd rather you ask than to sit there and look at me and just stare at me like I have two fucking heads. Now, with children, okay, with children, I am more leaning towards that because they are children. They don't know. Uh, they're just curious and they don't know how to ask. But for adults, I mean, come on, yo, you know better. I'm sure at least in some part of your life you've interacted with a person with a disability. And let me tell you something. Here's a common misconception. Okay, a common misconception is that when you're disabled, you're stupid. I'm not. None of us are. I mean, there might be some of us that may be a little delayed, but that's okay. Um, when you ask a disabled person a question, don't just come out with, "Hey, yo, what's wrong with you?" No, 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 no. You never want to put it like that. If anything, introduce yourself to the disabled person. Okay. Or you know what? Let me back that up a little bit. Let's not even call it a disabled person. Introduce yourself to the person. The person. And then ask whatever you need to ask. Here's the thing that I hate that I just did. So it's kind of an oxymoron because I hate it, but I just did it. One of the things I hate is that um, you have people that will just refer to somebody with a disability, such as myself. I use a power like myself that that's what people identify as. You know, the black guy with the wheelchair, or something like that. I hate when people do that, and I can't believe that I just did it. It's disgusting, really. I, as well as the whole gaggle of the disability community, are humans. Okay? Humans. Say it with me now. Human. Now, you might wonder why. Like, okay, is this guy nuts? Why did he just repeat it 3 times? Let me tell you why. Okay? Living with a disability for 32 years, like I have, you get a lot of people that don't treat you like you're human. You get treated like you're a fucking sideshow, like Sideshow Bob, or not sideshow, excuse me, freak show. And it's honestly really draining. It really truly is. It happens with jobs, it happens with relationships, it happens with friendships, it happens with even family. The people that you count on the most not to treat you any differently always do. And it's a damn shame. It's a shame because I'm not just some black guy in a wheelchair. I am Jonathan Jacob Krupitzer. Okay? That's all people need to know. Yes, I have a disability. Yes, there are people out there that have disabilities. But that's not all we are. But for some reason, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to dating, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to anything in your life, if you're disabled, you are constantly judged. And I don't know about my disabled family out there, but I'm getting plumb sick of it. I really truly am. So, any questions you have to ask a disabled person, ask them. You never know what's going to happen until you ask. Don't just assume things. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Now, if you break that up, you just spelled assume. And let me tell you, there are a lot of assholes out in this godforsaken land that just assume because I'm disabled, I can't do certain things, or I'm just gonna sit there and be your lackey, because that's not gonna happen. I had a job like that. Okay, let's go there. Okay, I had a job at a local Taco Bell where I live, and they wanted me to clean the tables and stuff like that, take drive-through orders, um, plus plus take the uh, orders inside. Okay, not a problem. Not a problem doing that. What I did have a problem with, however, though, is them seeming to wait until I came in to have the tables wiped off, as if no one else could have done it. And the one manager there, we'll call her Misty for the sake of it, was a total bitch. Okay. And there was one day where she was yelling at me because I didn't hand out a drink cup to a customer. Meanwhile, the customer that I didn't hand a drink to ordered on the fucking kiosk, which is a few feet from me. So, okay, let's explain something here. If somebody orders the their stuff on a fucking kiosk, I cannot see whether they need drinks or not because that's all the way back in the kitchen. Okay, so how the hell am I supposed to know? So she gets all mad and pissy, and I don't have time to do this. Meanwhile, all she ever did was sit on her fucking ass. But the expectations were just a little too much for me because I can't run four things at the same time. Or sometimes it would be like, hey JJ, did you take care of the table yet? No, I'm taking care of a customer. Like, what the fuck, dude? Even working for Amazon. Yes, I worked for Amazon. Laughable, isn't it? But even working for Amazon, okay, they wanted me to take multiple packages to, um, or not two. They wanted me to take multiple packages at once. Okay. Now, mind you, I'm in this wheelchair and I use my one hand to drive. I don't know if I can tilt it down enough so you can actually see it, but here. Okay, so you see that I use this hand to drive, right? Okay. So there's no way that I can carry multiple packages. Correct? Okay, so what they wanted to try and have me do is carry multiple boxes with both hands. And I said, well, I can't do that. And one of the supervisors was like, well, why not? And I said, did you forget I use a hand to drive my chair? What do you want me to do? Drive with my nose? And he goes, oh, yeah, I forgot. Now, okay, I can understand overlooking a minor detail like the way somebody walks or the way their hands are or anything. But, bro, this is a whole ass chair, dude. Like it's not like I can shove it under my ass and pretend it's not there. Okay? You knew I was in a wheelchair when you hired me. How in the world do you fucking forget that? You don't. He was just being a dick. But I went off on a tangent and I apologize. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, any questions that you have uh, about disabilities, just go ahead and ask. And yeah, you might offend somebody by asking that question, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure they would rather have you ask than to just assume anything. Anyway, this has been Willing and Dealing with JJ. As always, I'm JJ. Good evening and God bless.